Good morning, folks. Now you see it, and now you don't. This was not unexpected. Every major cosmic ray reading since I began watching in 2011 is eventually removed from the data, normally within 48 hours. Some believe it's pure censorship, but since dozens of people like me managed to get the results out there, the more likely explanation is incredulousness on the part of the so-called experts. They just can't believe that these readings are real. You need the solar magnetic field and Earth's magnetosphere to both weaken their protection of our planet at the same time for something like that to happen. That's crazy talk, right? Kind of the opposite of now you see it, now you don't. Let's call this Earth shakes you to the floor and tosses up an island while you're not looking. Folks, the full video is linked for you below. The area is obviously not settled. Methane and other gases still emanating from what they're calling the top of a mud volcano, and given that fact, look at the cojones on these Pakistanis. This is fine if you're ice fishing, maybe not so much on top of a volcano. By the way, they've taken a powerful aftershock this morning. This will cause more problems for the region. Speaking of regions with problems, just last week in our fly-on-the-wall discussion at the website, flooding was the topic. India made the list twice, first for their boulder-sized hail months ago, then for their July torrent of precipitation. But let's hit the trifecta. September has been way, way worse. Few days in the last week have each individually delivered an entire month of rainfall. We'll have more weather at the end, but for now, check out the strongest storm on Earth, currently heading for Vietnam. If anyone can comment updates on local status here, I'd appreciate it. Folks, ISON's first test is in a few days. Starting around 4 a.m. right now until sunrise, get out there and point your best equipment, eyes or otherwise, right at the red planet. The comet is unlikely to put on a show just yet, but as it's barely missing the North Pole of Mars on Monday and Tuesday, we will have our first chance, albeit small, for electrical interaction. This model, with both stereos on it as well, is also linked for you below. The sunspot situation remains bleak, but at least a contender is showing himself on the eastern limb while our larger groups turn away to the right. It appears to have some complexion. But alas, solar flaring remains dismally low. Solar wind calming as well. In fact, maybe a bit too much. Under 300 kilometers per second is near failure of the solar wind, and indicative of that same solar magnetic shutdown we've been discussing. Kind of the opposite concern here. Folks, while Earth-directed bursts are rare these days, the limbs can't stop popping. This is measured at kill-shot speed, so we are very lucky this was on the limb. Coronal hole power is moderate. Openings are directly Earth-facing. We're at mid-level risk, with the remaining concern for aftershocks in Pakistan and South America. Fly on the wall today. I'll try to get out by late afternoon as we're running a gauntlet of topics. Starwater Chapter 2 comes out October 1st. And folks, you saw yesterday the IPCC climate discourse is in desperate need of a counterstrike. Remember, I can't do it alone. Shots of our star and the weather to close. Eyes open. No fear. It's 6:35 a.m. Eastern Time, and spread the news. Our world is changing and they want to blame you. Be safe, everyone.